All right. All right, and here come all of our wonderful Opinion members into the meeting room. I'll tell you, these virtual rooms are fabulous, but we can't wait to get together face to face one of these days again. It's been so long. Feel free to use your cameras and or your mics if you want to ask a question. We have several speakers today, so it might be better to just ask your questions in the chat, and everybody on the call will be familiar with that. We'll give everybody a minute or two to come on before I tell my terrible joke, and then we'll get on to talking about wine, which is why we're all here. So today is Argentina Day with Opinion. I'm really excited about that because I need to learn a lot about Opinion, and all of you know that have been on these calls that I learn something new on each one of these calls, and so I'm always very interested to hear what everybody has to say, and looking forward to connecting with these winemakers as well. So how are we doing, Anais? Anybody else in the waiting room?
No, you can start.
I think we're good. Why don't we get started and just let people in as they arrive? Good afternoon, everybody. It's 3:00 p.m. in Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario. We've got members on from across the country. So at least it's noon in BC, so you can drink. It's okay, have some wine. Cheers to everybody. That's we were just talking about weather because it's a lot warmer in Argentina than it is here. -10 here in Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario. It's colder in Montreal, and if you want to put in the chat how cold it is where you are, that's just fine. So actually we found what I think is an excellent joke to start today, and it has to do with this being Super Bowl Monday or Sunday. So it's Sunday, right? Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday. And it says, I'm looking for a wine that pairs well with pretending to like football. So, and what I think is that wine happens to be Argentinian. And just to show you how dedicated our winemakers are, today we're going to talk to Alfredo from Fuego Blanco, and he's gone out with his family and he's taking an hour out of his time with his family at a local dam to talk to us, and he found some Wi-Fi locally, and so he's going to talk to us about all of his wines and spirits. So over to you, Alfredo. I hope so. He did find Wi-Fi. Perhaps he has not found Wi-Fi any longer. Alfredo, just so you know, we cannot hear you. Oh,
we are not talking about. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, you are back now.
The audio. Okay.
Very good.
So, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. At least in a way that is virtually. My English is a little bit rusty, so I expect that you can try or understand a little bit more about who we are, about this beautiful country that is Argentina, and even more to talk about a little bit more about our wines. As you may know, we are a winery located Fogo Blanco in San Juan. I'm located in Mendoza. Now I'm close to probably around 40 kilometers from Mendoza city. But this project, Fogo Blanco, is located in San Juan. That is the north part of, at the north of Mendoza. But the beautiful thing or the interesting thing about Fuego Blanco, that is a small valley, really small valley, surrounded by mountains. Probably in Argentina, you will see that all the vineyards are located facing west. But in this case, is a valley that is really small, only 800 hectares total of vineyard planted, and we own 100. And there, in Fuego Blanco is at 1,500 feet above meters above sea level. So it's around 4,500 feet. So about Fuego Blanco, which is incredibly rare and is a desert, we have many varietals among Malbec, Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah. We do also some whites like Sauvignon Blanc. But in this case, we would like to present you 3 wines from Fuego Blanco that are the Fuego Blanco Malbec Syrah. That is 60% Malbec, 40% Syrah. This is both from Fuego Blanco from Pedernal at the high altitude vineyard. Here we did this really nice wine to talk about terroir. terroir. So are wines that you are not going to expect to have a lot of oak present. Is the opposite. Our intention is to show you the freshness of the wine. We recommend that the wines you should drink it in the next 3 to 4 years after the harvest. And this is kind of the way that we would like to show you how we are, or how is our how we do our wines. So the intention is to do the less intervention as we can. The Malbec is harvested in a different time than the Syrah, and then we blend it. And then the other one that we have in the presentation is the Fuego Blanco Flintstone Malbec, which is in the same state. It is Pedernal Valley, really high vineyard, but we call it Flintstone. Flintstone is because in the vineyards we start to see as marks, or in some part of the vineyard you can see the rocks on the surface. So we in that parcels we expect that we have less yields. So this means that it has more concentration. So in this case we select these parcels where you have more presence of rocks. So it's more poor floors in the way that we try to do, and we harvest, and we have a really great concentrated Malbec that is from San Juan. And the last one is the Silic Red, that is a blend that we use the 3 red varieties that we have in the Pedernal: Malbec, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Syrah. 3 elaborate separately, and we do a beautiful blend in order to show you the best expression of Pedernal Valley. Again, the intention is to show you the fruitness, not to hide it with the oak presence. So it's a really the 3 wines. I think they're beautiful wines, really high concentrated wines, but really easy to drink. The intention is to look for the fruit forward style and to try to have a pleasant moment with the wines. And this is some of the things that we do in Fuego Blanco, among other things, with the Millan family. I don't know if you want, Michael, I can talk a little bit more about the Elodias and the Don Genaro wines.
Yes,
Or probably
please go
if you
ahead.
want, I can talk a little bit more about. Okay.
Yeah, we've got time. You go right
in
ahead.
the selection also you will. Okay, in the selection you will find 3 other products or wineries that we have. Millan family owns 3 different vineyards in different terroirs. Fuego Blanco was in San Juan, and then we have Don Genaro that is in Mendoza. Don Genaro was a aunt of the first generation of Millan, that if you see the label, you will see riding a bicycle. So the story say that Don Genaro is the guy that rides a bicycle and look for and take care of the vineyards. So in terms of Genaro, Don Genaro, we have a Cabernet Sauvignon, a Reserve Malbec, and a Grand Reserve Malbec Bonarda. The first wine, the Cabernet Sauvignon, is from Luján de Cuyo, what we call the Malbec first region. So you will find really old vineyards. We always say that Argentina is a new country producer with 100 years of history, so which is really good for everybody. Don Genaro is 100% Cabernet Sauvignon and comes from Pedriel. Pedriel is a location that is in the heart of Luján de Cuyo, at around 900 meters above sea level. And it's a really nice wine to drink because we said here, you can see this is a sunny day. And the good thing in Argentina is we have a really, really good sun exposition. In summer, the sun comes up around 6 in the morning and goes down around 8:30. So we have a lot of solar exposition. This means that you can, for example, in the Cabernet Sauvignon, you can take the green notes or the pyracinic notes, having the grapes more exposed to the sun. So because of this, we have a really fruit-forward style with the Don Genaro, and with the black fruit, the bitter cherry flavors, and it's really easy and really nice to drink. Then we move to the reserve wine, which is a Don Genaro 100% Malbec that came from our Finca Don Arturo, that is 1,300 meters above sea level. And in this case, we use oak around 8 months. But the intention again is to show fruitness and to show a different terroir compared to Pedernal. Pedernal is more spicy, more we call it spicy flavors, And here we look for the red fruit and the typical red fruit that you will find in any Malbec from Argentina.
Have we lost him? It's worked pretty well so
And then
far.
the last one is a
Please
Malbec
don't carry
Bonarda.
us.
It's a Bonarda from Malbec from Uco Valley. Really, really nice wine. And the idea is to show you something different because La Valle is a valley that is in the north of Mendoza, lower altitude than Luján and Uco Valley. And it's been for quite a lot of years being planted, but in the last few years, they
Yeah, we're starting to have quite a bit of trouble with your connection,
start to
Alfredo.
plant other things. And probably all the winemaking moves to the Uco Valley. With the Bonarda, we can have I can move a little bit if you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now, Michael?
Yes, it's kind of off and on, but now you're back.
Okay. Please let me know if you're having some problems, and I can move to another place with the
Right.
best signal.
Just don't get hit by a car. It looks like you're standing on a road right now.
No. Look at this. I mean, this is a dam. This is
okay.
and then back in my back you can see the Tunuzan River, so it's safety. Don't worry. I'm not going to be hit by a car while I'm doing the presentation.
Excellent.
Okay, and let me talk a little bit more about the last wines. That is Elodias. Elodias, basically, to give you an idea, Millan family owns around 1,000 hectares in different terroirs. So the intention with Elodia was to do a really slow, low production, no more than 5,000 bottles, and to choose among the best vineyards that the family owns. So in this case, we will present Chacalles and Pedernal. Pedernal is a specific parcel, and the interesting thing about the Elodias is that are around 2 to 4 hectares planted in the best terroirs that we select, and are the same selección masal of the plants. I mean, the same kind of plants of Malbec in different terroirs. So the idea is to do some kind of an experiment to show you how the Malbec can change or how different can be the Malbec in different situations. We're talking about Pedernal, 1,500 meters above sea level, but it's a valley that is surrounded by mountains. And the other case is Chacalles, that is in Uco Valley, 1,300 meters above sea level, and it's really close to the Andes, but it's in the foothills facing west. So the idea is to harvest the Malbecs, try to get the same yields, do the same elaboration. And it's amazing because you can see so many differences between the wines. We used part of the fermentation is in concrete eggs, and then we move it to oak barrels for a while. The idea is to stay there for a year, and then we bottle and we keep it and we release it. Now we are having the 2018 available, and probably in the following next six to 1 year we will release the 2019. So as you may see, we have many wines, different terroirs. The intention is to deliver some part of Argentina into the glass, so you can at least taste a little bit of us, taste about culture, to have a really nice chat about what we do, who we are, and hopefully one day you decide to come to visit us.
That's great. Thank you. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, I don't know if we have time, Michael, just to mention about the Terrier and the
Yeah,
jeans.
we'll give you a couple of minutes for the spirits. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Michael. And then the other thing that the family do, because they get bored to have too many wineries and wines, they started like they bought a distillery, and it was 2017, and they started to do with because you may know about Argentina and sort kind of a crisis that we have here, and they decided because of the blocks of the import to start to produce some premium spirit here in Argentina. So we developed the Terrier gin. Nowadays we have 5 different kind of terriers, and you will have the offer of I think the citric, the wild, the spicy, and the old tone. I think no, the pink. Sorry, these are the 4 gins that we offer to you. The idea is to use some botanicals here from Argentina. For example, the pink is used with a Malbec must because it's not a London dry. The other ones are 100% London dry style. so it means that have no residual sugar. But the pink one use flowers to give you the pink color, and also the things that we use some a little bit of Malbec must in order to do it a little bit sweeter. And I think that the last product that we will try deliver to you or is the hazelnut cream liqueur that is clever.
Yes.
Of course, it's something new that we start this year to deliver here because we consider this something is really nice. And this is the part of the offerings that we are doing from Family Millan. Hope you will enjoy it. And
Thank you. Who doesn't like
one day you can
hazelnut
come to
and
visit us
cream together?
anytime. We will receive you here
That's-
with a glass of wine.
Ah, that's great.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Alfredo. Certainly
Thank you
appreciate
everybody
it.
for your time.
Sounds like you're having a wonderful time where you are. So enjoy the day with your family and enjoy that beautiful sky. Again, I'm so jealous of that. That's just terrific. So really
But
appreciate it.
it's easy. You just, despite the COVID that hopefully is gonna end soon, you can
Yes,
come anytime to visit us.
marvelous.
Have a great day.
We'll take you up on that. Thanks again. And I do
Okay.
see that we have Mauricio Lorca with us here. Mauricio has been.
Yes.
Hi,
Yes,
how are
yes.
you?
Here I am.
Yes.
I'm fine. Thank you.
Where
Thank
where
you.
are you today in the world, Mauricio?
I am in Spain
Yes.
now.
So
Next
later
week
in the
I am-
evening, that's for sure. Wow.
Next week I'm going back to Argentina because the harvest is just starting. So ready to start.
Yeah,
Happy
you
to
were-
be here because
I
we are
think you were-
pruning.
Sorry,
We
yeah.
are
So
pruning in Spain and we are harvesting in Mendoza. You know, it's amazing.
no, that's it keeps you busy, doesn't it?
Yes, very busy.
Yeah. So I don't think you need much introduction. You can certainly tell us a little bit about yourself, but Opinion members are really familiar with you and your beautiful wines from Argentina. And if you wanted to go through those, then over to you, sir.
Okay, just to remind to the guests, to the customers that I am Mauricio Lorca, the owner of Bodega y Viñedos Mauricio Lorca in Argentina. We have our winery located in Luján de Cuyo. Most of our vineyards are located in Yuco Valley. We have 3 different vineyards there. One's in we call Los Altepes, which is in Los Árboles region. The altitude there is 1,250 meters above sea level. The soil there is very, very poor. There is a lot of sand and stone. And then we have another two vineyard more. One in we call High Vista Flores, which is located at the altitude of 1,100 meters above sea level. And the last one is in Vista Flores too, but the altitude is about 1,000 meters above sea level. So from all this vineyard, we get the grape from our different wines, okay? I would like to speak a little about our organic wines because this year we introduced our Cabernet Sauvignon organic, which is new. Last year we started with the Malbec, Sapin Sucum Malbec, and this year the Sapin Sucum Cabernet Sauvignon is the new one, okay? Well, this grape comes from La Rioja, the Sañogasta, Vichigasta region, sorry. The altitude there is 1,000 meters above sea level. The climate there is very, very dry. We have only 100 millimeters of rain per year, so it's almost a desert. I was recording some videos and I was sending those videos to you just to show the place. You know, the forest there is very, very small, it's almost nothing. And again, the climate is very windy and dry. So it's a perfect place for organic grapes. We started that project 4 years ago, and now we are in more or less 10 markets selling that wines. And of course, Canada is one of them. The characteristic of this wine is very easy drink, it's very fresh, nice color. You will find the typicity of the Cabernet Sauvignon, but in a very good way. You know, it's very soft wine. You will see something clean, fresh. There is nothing wrong. My focus in the organic wine was to have something different compared with the regular wines you can find in the market. Sometimes the people say natural or organic, or they use that word and justify, some mistake in the wine. So in our case, I think you will find something totally clear, clean, easy drink and fresh. Then something we are introducing this year is the Lorca Politico range. We have there the let me see everything, because there are so many wines, so many new wines. Yes, here I have a the Malbec Finca Los Altepes, Valle de Uco, the Lorca Poético Cabernet Sauvignon, Finca Los Altepes, Valle de Uco 2, and Lorca Poético Cabernet Franc, Finca Los Altepes, Valle de Uco. Well, Finca Los Altepes is the vineyard I explained before. It's located at 1,250 meters above sea level. The soil are very, very poor, and the yield, the production per hectare is very low naturally. Okay, we don't need to interview very much. We have more or less in between 5,000 to 6,000 vines per hectare, plant per hectare, sorry. And the production per vine is very, very low. So what we are looking for there is a good concentration. We can ripe the grape properly because at that altitude the climate is quite cold. So we need more time to get the right ripening. Okay, so the production is very, very important. Have to be low. Okay, so those wines are aging in oak barrel for 12 months. We use 33% new, 33% one use, and 33% second use. Sometimes, depending on the harvest, I can use some touch of wine without oak just to give the right balance. So the idea is to have a wine that you can feel the typicity of the grape at the same time, the complexity of the oak, and of course it's a full body wine, but it's very, very smooth at the same time, and very easy to drink, very long aftertaste. Another wine we are introducing this year are the Mauricio Lorca Grand Petit Verdot, Finca Los Altepes 2, and Mauricio Lorca Grand Blend, Finca Los Altepes 2, both Valle de Uco, in Mendoza. Well, those wines, the main difference between the Lorca Poético range and the Mauricio Lorca Grand Petit Verdot and Grand Blend is the selection of the grape. What we do there is we choose cluster by cluster, the best of the best, and with that grape, we made the wine. Okay, 100% of those wines are aging in new French and American oak barrel. Normally is 85–90% French, something like 15–10% American oak for 18 months, and then the wine remain in bottle for at least 3–4 years. Okay, so my idea is to deliver, to launch to the market, wines with a lot of complexity. In Argentina, it's difficult to find Gran Reserva or Reserva style wines with more than 2 years. So my idea is to show that a different face of Argentina is the Argentina that can have wine, has wine that can evolve long time and can show that potential. I remember very much when I was working in Luigi Bosca, the Arisu family showed me, some wines that were aging in bottle for more than 10 years, and the complexity was quite unique, and they call bouquet. The bouquet complexity is the only complexity you can get from the bottle. It's not a complexity that you can get from the barrel or wherever you age the wine. So I like that. I like that kind of complexity, which is unique and it's difficult to find from other producers. I would like to explain you something we do in terms of quality control, for example, because we are probably the only winery in Argentina that have that can certify, that we bottle the wine with very low oxygen. So that gave us the opportunity to bottle the wine with less sulfur, compared with winery that cannot control the oxygen. At the same time, the stability of the wine in bottle is so good. We have now something like 10 years doing that, and all the experience we got is that we were decreasing the free sulfur year by year, and now we can certify that our wine for 5, 6, 7 years in bottle, they can age very well. This technology, I got this technology in Spain, and it's, as I told you before, is unique. There is not many wineries in Argentina, even in America, with that technology. So we are very proud about that. We have so many certifications. We are gluten-free. We are vegan certificate. We are already, we have the vegan certification too. We have the ISO 22000 last version, the 2018 version. So we truly believe in the quality control, because we are sure that we work well, but at the same time, it is important that somebody certify that you do the right thing. And I think for the customer, it's very important. We are working in many new projects. For sure, you will have them in the future. But most of the things we are doing are in the vineyard. Okay, we are working more and more in the vineyard. We are how to say this? We are looking for to work in a very precise way, looking for to have the right production per plant, according of the wine we are looking for. Okay, for example, if we are looking for very high quality wines, the production have to be less than 1 kilo per vine. If we are looking for a medium range wine, normally the production is 1.2 kilo per vine. And we can measure that, and we can how to say aim the objective, because we control everything. Okay, we account the cluster, we follow the production, and normally we arrive with the right quality we need for our wines. I don't know, Michael.
Yeah, Mauricio, Paul is asking, where does the name Politico come from?
Well, Poetico is because my last name is Lorca, and I remember when we were working in the brands of the wines, the designer and the people that were, advising me about that, say, Mauricio, I think we have to try to put it something in terms of lyric or poetic, thinking in Garcia Lorca, the famous writer from Spain.
Right.
So that was the connection with the Poetico name.
Right. And you mentioned being vegan certified, and a lot of people don't understand how that could be, why all wines aren't vegan, and it's because of the egg whites used in fining, correct?
Yes, exactly. The thing is, you can contaminate the wine with some product that can be made by animal
Byproducts or
products. Yes.
Yes.
So, for example, the ovoalbumina, is come from the eggs or something like that. So we can certify that we are not using nothing like that. Okay. In fact, we are working a lot in less intervention. Every year is less and less and less. So is why my philosophy in my mind, 90%, 95% of the wine is making in the vineyard. If you have the right quality grape, normally you don't need to do a lot of things in the winery. Only to have a very clean winery, and be sure that the evolution of the wine is going to be right. That's it. So the future of the winemaking, in my view, is the vineyard, is the location of the vineyard, the terroir in general, and how much you can do to have a better quality.
And if I told everybody what was in the master's case from you, I'd have to kill everybody. So I'm not going to do that. It's a top secret, and Anna has made me swear never to tell anybody. But what I can say is thank you, Mauricio, for making the wines available that are in the master's case. And I can tell everybody here on the call that if you're not in the master's case program, this is the time to get into it. That subscription program means that we auto order a case for you every 5 weeks, 10 times a year. And there's 3 wines in each of those master's cases, 2 bottles of each, and they always punch well above their weight. And you can sign up and see more information about the master's case on your dashboard. We've put it very large there so that people can't miss it. And it's just, it's a marvelous way of expanding your cellar and having drinkable wines and trying the idea of the master's case is to give 3 different styles from a particular producer, and then we rotate those producers through. So it's a great way of learning about Opimian wines, and of course they are all curated by our master of wine. And then I shouldn't forget that you also get to have a virtual tasting of the wines with the master of wine that chooses those wines for the case. So that's always an exciting one. We always get a lot of people on those calls. So thank you, Mauricio. Did we run through all of your wines so far? We did the Fantasia, didn't we? And that Zachem Zuchem, man, fantastic. and what a great label. That's such a great label.
Thank you very much, Michael. It's always a big pleasure to be here. I expect to go to Canada soon after all this pandemic finish. We'll see if we can meet some of you
Yes.
in person. Would be great.
Yeah.
And of course, you are invited to come to Argentina, even in Spain in the future.
Yes, that sounds brilliant. And hopefully the Opimian members that know me don't get tired of this story, but when Mauricio was in Canada last time, we actually did a tasting at our house, and he helped me do Argentinian cheese on the barbecue. It was we went out to buy it at the farmer's market, and it was just a wonderful time. So
the proboleta.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. So thanks, Mauricio.
No, you're very welcome. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
All right. And so last and certainly not least, we've got Finca Ferrer, and they've got a wonderful lineup here, and they have several people on the call as well. Thank you very much, Marcos, Matias, and Tamara for coming on the call. Very much appreciated. And I'll let you introduce yourselves, and I understand that you've got a presentation for us as well, which is always interesting. So over to you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you all for being here. I'm Matias. I'm the export manager of the winery. Marcos Gutila, which is the winemaker and the main responsible for the quality of our wines, is here, and the rest of the team, because for us it's very important to be with you. Now, virtually speaking, but hopefully in the near future with you there in Canada. So we prepare some presentation. I will share my screen. The idea is for you to have a full idea, a full picture of what is Finca Ferrer. The first thing is to present the winery, and especially to present the family. As Mauricio Lorca says, when you put the name of you in a label, and especially in the name of the winery, is a very important thing. You are putting your tradition, your name, and in this case, the Ferrer family, which is a long history family producing top wines, some of the best sparkling wines in Spain, and also with still wines. They arrived Jose Ferrer Sala in 2003. Which is kind of long and short in terms of the Argentine history. Why that? Because Argentina, it's a long tradition country producing wine, but at the same time producing quality wines. We are quite young. We started to produce top quality wines in late 80s, beginning of 90s, and especially in Uco Valley, which is now a very trendy and very famous region. At the early 90s, there was not too much vineyards. So when Jose Ferrer arrived to Mendoza, especially to Uco Valley, there was not a lot of vineyard there. So this is very important, because nowadays a lot of people is talking about Uco Valley, but these people was kind of visionary in terms of the terroir. So the Ferrer family, it's all involved here. And the other thing is, so you have the people and then you have the place. And this place is very unique. As you can see here, Uco Valley, it's a region 100 kilometers to the south of the city of Mendoza, which is kind of here, but not only to the south, but also near to the Andes Mountain. So this is very important because of the high altitude vineyards. And we will see that, I mean, we can talk about, for example, 15 or 10 years ago, we could talk about, for example, Mendoza Malbec, which was good. Nowadays, it's kind of generally thinking. So Uco Valley is going deeper and deeper in terms of terroir. And nowadays, talking about Uco is kind of general. So we are going deeper in terms of the districts or the micro regions inside Uco Valley. You have mainly 3 regions, which are Tupungato, Tunuyán, and San Carlos, but inside that, you have different districts. And here you can see Tupungato. And inside Tupungato, you will see Gualtallarí. What is the main thing about this? As you can see here, in this kind of regions, I mean, Tunuyán and San Carlos, you have the mountain here. So you cannot climb more than 1,200 meters or 1,300 meters. But in the case of Tupungato, and specifically about Gualtallarí, you start at 1,100 meters, but you can climb up to 1,800 meters. So it's a wide range, and you can find different climates and different kind of temperature average, which is very essential for the kind of wine you can produce. Yeah, if you can see here, I'm not sure how custom you are with Winkler zones, but Winkler measures the average temperature when the vine start to develop the fruit. And you can see here 3 different colors, right? So here in yellow is the lower part of Gualtallarí. All this area is Gualtallarí, right? So here you have Winkler 3, which is kind of a template, medium climate, but then you can climb to Winkler 2 and Winkler 1. So in the same region, which is called Gualtallarí, you can find like a template or warm region up to a very cool climate region. And this is very important for us because for that reason, and also for the soil composition of Gualtallarí, Gualtallarí is considered to be kind of the Grand Cru of Mendoza nowadays, because you can produce from high-class Malbec, but also some short-term varieties like Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, like Burgundy varieties, which is not very popular in Argentina. In this kind of in that kind of region, you can produce this. Yes. Finca Ferrer is located in kind of the center of Gualtallarí, at 1,300 meters. We will see that one of our top brands is has the name related to the altitude of the vineyard, which is very, very high. Yeah. So we have more than 300 hectares planted. 300 hectares at the host property, but we have planted 60 hectares. Marcos will plant in the coming month another kind of hectares, but nowadays we have these plantings. And here you can see like the whole property with the plantings. So we have like, it's all state-grown winery. So all the grapes we are using, it's in the property. And we have like a careful selection of blocks, and during the years we have selected the best blocks where we send the grape to the different kind of parcels and different kind of wines. As you can see here, Finca Ferrer has not only Malbec but also Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Syrah, Torrontés, Tempranicus, and Cabernet Sauvignon. So we are producing a wide range of still wines and also sparkling wines, especially Champenois method because of the Ferrer family know-how about, of course, Cava and Champenois methods, right? So in the selection of Opimium, you will find like the Accordion Rosé,
like the one I'm drinking.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is our kind of new baby, which is the Rosé.
Right.
Not for Canada nowadays because maybe it's a little bit cool. But here in Argentina we are having 27 degrees.
And by the time it arrives, we'll be able to have it on our decks.
Yeah, and you know that it's very kind of fun because I'm based in Buenos Aires and the temperature is 27, and Marcos is at the winery now and it's the same temperature. So it's kind of Buenos Aires and Mendoza are in the same line of latitude, but completely opposite from in the country. So it's kind of fun. And as Mauricio said, the harvest is starting now. So Marcos is rushing, picking the grapes for the sparkling base for the whites. So it's a nice stage of the year for us in Argentina. So as I said, this is our new release in 2021 vintage. It's Accordion Rosé. Accordion, I don't know if all you know that, but it's a very special musician instrument from tango, and it's very popular in all Argentina and especially in Buenos Aires, which is the capital city, and it's second and third depending on the year with Paris and different kind of cities in terms of per capita consumption of wine in the world. So it's one of the top cities to drink wine and to dance tango, of course. So this new release, it's a blend of Tempranicus and Pinot Noir, more Tempranicus, and the reason of Tempranicus, it's mainly that Ferrer family is based in Spain, which is, so we are combining like the best grape of Spain, of the family, and also adding some some Pinot Noir in the blend, which is a very light and very unique wine, unique grape, especially in Hualtallarí. You will not find lots of Pinot Noir in Mendoza or in Argentina because we are a desert, but in this region, you can find some nice Burgundy grapes in terms of quality. So it's very fresh, and these are the notes of Michael, I think. So
actually, Jane.
Okay, great.
I would love to take credit for them.
Yeah, great. So it's a very easygoing wine, more made in a Provence style, very, very light and very drinkable. So, well, then you have the Accordion Malbec, which is the purest expression of Hualtallarí, no oak at all, just to preserve the fruits and the intensity of the place. Here, the good thing of Mendoza and Hualtallarí is you have like a natural concentration in the wines, in the grape. I mean, you need to pick the grape in the best time, and then you don't need to do a lot in the winery. So Marcos pick the grapes, preserve the fruit, and that's go to the bottle.
Yes.
Going forward with this, we have our second brand, which is called Finca Ferrer, the same name of the winery. This is not, I think, in the book, but it's a website special.
Web exclusive, yeah.
Yeah, with the Malbec. And in this case, we use kind of the same grape, but we are having some kind of balance between the fruit and the elegance of the oak. So in this case, we use like a combination of French and American oak, mainly used not to give a lot of aroma of the oak, and you can find some refined and very, very nice in terms of velvety of the tannins, good long finish in this Malbec. I mean, this is probably the Malbec you are thinking when you think in Mendoza and in Argentina, right? And after that, we have our icon line, very special wines, which is called Miltradius. So it's the 1,310 meters, which is the altitude where the vineyard is located. We put this name because it's not very common to find this kind of altitudes in Argentina. Maybe you can find in the northwest of Argentina, but in Mendoza, it's very high. So Gualtallarí have two main things. Not only the altitude, but also you can find lots of limestone component in soils. This vineyard especially, you have sandy, but combined with limestone chalky soils. So very similar to the wine of Burgundy and some special regions in the war, especially in the old war. And the limestone and the calcareous soils give you some more minerality, some more red fruit to the wines, and that for us is very important to give some more elegance and to have some more natural acidity in the grapes. I think it's page 34 and 35. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
you are correct.
Okay, so here you can find three wines, of course Malbec, but we are focused in Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, and both has like a combination between French and American oak. In the case of Chardonnay, you can find some very nutty and very lactic wine, but with all the powerful thing and the natural acidity of Gualtallarí. So it's a world-class Chardonnay. If we need to compare with some international style, it's probably a combination between like Napa Valley and Pouligny-Montrachet style of wine. So very powerful in the nose, but also with a lot of freshness on the palate. And also we have a Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir again is not a traditional grape variety of Argentina, but especially in Gualtallarí you can find some refined Pinot Noir, and this has the maturation of the red fruit, the marmalade and the red berries, but also with some freshness and long finish because of the oak on the palate.
Is there a secret to being able to make a Pinot Noir in such a warm climate?
I mean, you need to, the hand of the winemaker like Marcos, especially in the vineyard, you need to select very, very careful when you pick the grapes, and especially you need to climb for the highest vineyards, and that's if you think about world-class Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, it's mainly in cool regions, and also in most of them, you can find lots of limestone in the soil. So here in Gualtallarí, you can find both limestone and also a cool region. It's kind of strange, Gualtallarí, because you can find like world-class Malbec. Most of the 100 points Parker wines of Argentina are coming from Gualtallarí. I mean, most of the Malbecs, but also you can find and you can get the best Chardonnay or the best Pinot Noir. So you have like long-term varieties like Malbec, but also short-term varieties like Pinot Noir or Chardonnay. So it's kind of interesting, and that's the reason why most of the producers or of the critics are talking about Gualtallarí as the new Grand Cru of Mendoza. Yeah.
Wow. Well done.
Okay, that's it with my presentation. So I'm available to some questions if you like, or maybe Marcos, which is the main responsible for the wines.
He's got to go and pick wines. He doesn't have time for this.
Can you hear me?
Yes, well, great. Go ahead, Marcos.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thanks, Matias. And now just I want to mention we certified vegan wines. The last year was the first time, and Accordion Rosé is the first one that we make, and Rosé is the new variety for accordion line. So I hope you enjoy this new wine. Okay.
Terrific. Thank you.
Yeah, and because of the wild thing about Walter Shari and being a very austere region, it's a like natural organic region. We are working on that. The main problems are the ants, which is kind of a big problem in that area. But beside that, we are working for having the organic certification very soon.
So I've got the Malbec open now. So what should I have with dinner with it tonight?
Okay.
The Miltradius Malbec or the Accordion?
The accordion.
Accordion could be, of course, any meat like lamb, for example, or a beef will be good. But also it's a very easygoing and very fruity wine. So maybe you can combine, for example, with a mushroom risotto and with this kind of like in the middle between a powerful red and a light red. So maybe a mushroom risotto with Malbec and being at home would be good.
Great, yeah, and I know our members just love that. I wrote an article that's in the middle of actually your spread that's in the cellar today, and it's about taking your wine out for dinner, and that with those Argentinian steakhouses, and you know, COVID's been very hard on the hospitality industry, but I did some research and found that there's still lots of steakhouses that have survived COVID, and they're open, and these wines from Argentina are just the perfect pair with any of that, isn't it? Like, it's just, yeah. I look forward to that. Great. If anybody has any questions, please just put them in the chat, or you can even unmute yourself and ask them directly. And thank you everybody for your contribution to today's tasting. We really appreciate it. I have to say that I learned the most this time because I don't know Argentina really well. So it's terrific to hear about Argentinian wines and what's important and as you make them. And what I have to say that I'm always interested in the unusual. So I'll definitely be ordering that mixed case of the Pinot and the Chard. It's going to be a lot of fun to try those. I can't wait to try those. So thank you for making those available to us. And oh yes, somebody had made mention of the grapes in the
Yes.
rosé. So we've got listed Tempranillo and Malbec. Is that correct?
Sorry.
We've got Tempranillo and Malbec in the rosé.
Yes. The 70% is Tempranillo,
Yes.
and 30% is Pinot Noir.
Is Pinot Noir, not Malbec?
No.
There is kind of a mistake, I think, in the book. So it's mainly Tempranillo with an addition of Pinot Noir. It's not Malbec. There is no Malbec in the rosé.
Thank you, Randine, and for bringing that to our attention. I think Mandy was the first to do it, and I apologize that I didn't bring that up, Mandy. So that's great. Yes, so it is. It's Tempranillo and Pinot Noir.
Yeah,
great. So the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
yes, that's right. Oh, that's excellent. And any other questions before we let everybody go? It's a beautiful Sunday in Argentina, that's for sure. So, and is the rosé quite a dry style? You know, it's got 4 grams of residual sugar, so it'd be dry to the palate.
Yeah, it's mainly dry. There is some kind of residual sugar, but I mean, talking about the style, it's mainly dry. Yeah, it's looking for a Provence style wine. And that's the reason why we add some Pinot Noir to light a little bit the Tempranillo. Yeah, so you have the expression of the Tempranillo, the red fruit, but also the acidity and the lighter side of the Pinot Noir. That's the idea.
Right, wonderful. Well, thank you again. Okay, yep, so giving us the residual sugar. What Mandy's referring to there is that we had taken it out and just said that it was dry, semi-dry, sweet, And people like to know that number because their palates, our palates at Opimian are so refined that we know the difference between 4 grams and 15 grams. So, and I think that's a testament to how terrific our members are and how much they cherish these terrific wines that everybody makes. So thank you to everybody who presented today. We really appreciate it. And taking time out of your Sunday, we really appreciate that. It's always great that we get a chance to do all of the producers that are in a particular offering, and we've got just 1 week to go, everybody. So you better get your orders in by a week from Monday. So if anybody has any questions, they can send them to events@opimian.ca, and we're happy to answer them individually. And Sandy, yes, we will be providing this on YouTube. And we will be sending a copy of this to everybody who has signed up for this. You'll get a copy of this in the thank you so that you can revisit anything you'd like to. So thank you again, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Bye-bye.